Okay. Today's been Valley Girl Talk. Valley Girl Talk is so funny, but maybe it's only funny to people in my generation. Uh, I think if I hear this comment one more time, I'm going to scream. People talk about me only recommending old lenses. Like, that guy only recommends old lenses. Really? My favorite lens of the year, which is, my wallet's still screaming in pain, is the new 70-200 2.80. Ah ha ha ha! Yeah, I've kind of spanked Nikon recently for churning out a few crappy lenses. Well, like the 105 f1.4, which sucks. This lens is incredible. Everybody that's bought me, I think I've had, there have been 5 people call me about this lens that bought it off my recommendation, and tons of comments are like, oh my god, thank you so much for recommending this. So 3 people said, oh Jesus, that cost so much, but you so highly praised the lens, I bought it. I knew I had the ability to return it, but I'm not going to return it. Very expensive lens, $2,800, worth every damn penny of what it costs. I got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos on really cheap, inexpensive, awesome lenses like this. See this lens right here? This is a Genetessor. Depends on where you buy it from, 30 bucks. The bokeh from this is unbelievable. This lens is older than my dad. Damn, that's old, right? I hope he isn't watching. He probably is. The Industor. 50mm f3.5. $15 lens, sometimes 10 bucks, from Mother Russia. Even the front element isn't coated. Now, let me tell you the contradiction here. $2,800 just came out. Older than my dad. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to figure out the contradiction here between this and like this stuff here. There is no damn contradiction. It's all about the damn image. Most important, above this, as I've said before, and I made it like a little, like the 10 Commandments, except it's 5 things of importance. The first 4, the 5th one is kind of unmentionable. I can't say it in this video. It's a bit aggressive, the 5th one. Is your mind, the lighting, the lens, and lastly the camera. But on this level, the 3rd level, mind comes first, then lighting, you know, your imagination. I see a lot of people out there with great gear. They got no imagination. They're like, yeah, girl. And I'm like, wow, God, that's bad. That's bad. Some of them are even corporate sponsored shooters by big companies. It's like, whoa, man, that's bad. It's like that lighting is not good. Some people don't actually know how to see specular, diffuse, and shadows. They don't actually know how to see the 3 tonal values and where to place them for the composition. But that's not what this video is about. So there's no contradiction here. Super expensive. Oh my god. Super cheap. Oh my god, again. Really, really cheap. Inexpensive, not cheap. Cheap has a dual meaning. Cheap means like junk, but we mean cheap as in cost here, of course. There is no contradiction. It is about the image. You know, someone's like, oh my god, did like an expensive lens make that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful image? Or did like a cheap lens? Like, ma'am, that was made by a cheap lens. Oh my god, it sucks then. No, I really want to buy that image, but it was made with a cheap lens made in Russia. You know, I don't want to buy that image. The number of times people have heard that crap being said, none! None! Actually, it might have occurred at some point in time. But I've never heard it happen, and I've always got my ear to the railroad tracks. Homie hears a lot of stuff. I call myself an information broker, by the way, because I get the word on a lot of stuff before other people do. And I don't mean from other people. The number of times I've heard that said, none. It's about the image. I keep hearing all these people like, all he does is recommend old lenses, man. He's like stuck in the past. You know, he's like bald and fat and old. Really? Someday you're going to be old. You might not be fat and bald, but you're going to be old. And you're going to shrivel up and die like the rest of us, you know? So, don't give me that crap about old. I care about what's good. I care about good versus crap, not versus new and expensive versus old and cheap. Anybody that is saying that stuff is an idiot. Is a dumars. In the Russian, there'll be a sumashedshi kozyol. Yeah, don't translate that from the Russian. Sumashedshi kozyol. No contradiction. I care about what's best. And also, something else I hear all the time, and it's absolute, unmitigated BS. Two things. Two hardcore things. Unmitigated BS. It's like, let's say, that lens can't resolve the sensor. I hear that crap all the time. It says, that sensor out-resolves the lens. Total, absolute BS. This lens, which is older than my dad, will out-resolve my 36 megapixel Nikon D810. Anybody that uses the word out-resolve something, they're an idiot. They are flat out, undeniably, a moron. Absolute, unmitigated crap. Someone says, that new sensor, they have to change the lens because the new sensor will out-resolve the old lens. I hear that all the time. And boy, that is some serious crap. Absolute nonsense. Sorry, but it's an undeniable fact. Nobody ever has any evidence for that because none exists. It's like, yeah, leprechauns do exist. Yeah, can you show me one? Yeah, they do. You know, I've seen one. My grandpa saw one too when he was drunk. The other thing that they also say is that there have been improvements in lenses. Yeah, like this lens, here's an improvement. Here's an example of improvement. You know, the autofocus is insanely fast. Everything is not about resolution. I invented the 6-point chart for judging all lenses. RPG, BCD, resolution, phase gain, bandwidth, construction, and drive. Drive being autofocus. Amazing. Obviously, these don't have vibration reduction, and they don't have autofocus. You know what? For normal photography, nobody gives a crap. That's perfectly fine. That's why these lenses are great. You know? I can both praise something with no VR, and also these people that are talking about optical image stabilization, like, oh my god, it's the best thing since sliced bread, you know, it's so wonderful to have OIS, I just can't live, really, I got by without it for 20 years, you really need it? You know, back then we had a thing called skills. It's like, what about shooting action? You know, it's so important to have optical image stabilization, especially on like old lenses like this, because you have in-body image stabilization. Really? Didn't need it. For our sports and action, people haven't gotten any faster. I didn't need it back then. I don't need it now. Focus peaking is really nice. When you're dealing with fast lenses, I can manually focus a lens with no problem. However, with really fast lenses at f1.4 and f1.2, focus peaking is a dreamboat. I will give that. Okay? Technology, great. Technology, however, makes people lazy. I think Zach Arias famously said, he said, the smarter the camera gets, the lazier the photographer. He should have said the smarter the cameras get, the stupider the photographer gets. So the VR on this and the resolution and the autofocus are incredible. That's wonderful. God, this lens is so expensive. Thank God I have it insured too, by the way. Yes, I have this lens insured. So if I were to drop it off this table right now, I would be insured on it. Yes, totally insured. So, no contradiction. No contradiction. $20, $2,800. No contradiction. If you think you see a contradiction here, then there's something wrong with you. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much. Like this video and drop a buck or two. Tell me jump off a cliff. Whatever makes you happy. Whatever sets you free and sticks lead in your pencil. Do that. Alright? Thanks. Bye.